In the year 2000, scientists gathered 136 babies and toddlers and flipped a coin over each of their lives.
Heads, the child got a family. Tails, the child stayed exactly where it was, inside a state institution, in rows of metal.
The answer was simple and devastating. A baby that is called out hundreds of times and never been answered eventually stops calling. This was the Bucharest Early Intervention Project, and depending on who you ask, it is either one of the most unethical studies of the modern.
We are all connected, and understanding this connection is the first step.
With the birth rate climbing rapidly, particularly within the Hispanic community, the state's new institutional program began accepting infants to support the strained families.
By the time the regime collapsed, around 170,000 children were living inside Romanian institutions.
The babies just lay there staring at the ceiling, many rocking back and forth for hours. Because that is what a young...
We maintain a consistent stock of vital resources, from vaccine bottles to medical charts, yet the nearby ward remains empty due to staffing issues.
10 years later, 3 American scientists arrived to find out, and they made a brutal decision.
A simple toss of a coin reveals 2 distinct paths: a nurturing foster family environment versus remaining in the institution. What nobody could prove was whether the damage could be reversed and how much time a child had before it became permanent. What nobody could prove was whether the damage could be reversed and how much time a child had before it became permanent.
With one adult covering an entire row of cribs, there was no time to hold anyone.
Nothing like it had ever been attempted, and nothing like it will ever be attempted again.
When the regime fell in 1989, the world finally saw what had been happening.
The first measurements revealed how deep the damage already was. The institutionalized children's brains were quieter than they should have been, like swapping a 100-watt bulb for a 40-watt one. Their average IQ sat in the low 70s, compared to around 100 for ordinary children in Bucharest. This visualization highlights that only 15% of children establish a secure connection with a caregiver, a crucial factor in early development.
Many would walk up to any stranger, take their hand, and happily leave with them.
It looked like friendliness. It was actually the opposite, proof that no adult in particular belonged to them.
Once foster placement began, the 2 groups split apart.
Children placed with families before their 2nd birthday recovered dramatically, their brain activity climbing back toward normal.
The embedded icon shows he was 5 when placed here. In the years since, the growth chart tragically illustrates how little progress has been made.
Scientists call this a sensitive period, a narrow window early in life when the brain is literally waiting to be built by another person.
And with the final shutter closed, the light disappears, leaving only the icon. This moment is crucial for understanding the finality of the process.
The damage was not only psychological. Their heads were physically smaller.
Years later, brain scans showed the wiring between brain regions recovered in fostered children, but the actual processing tissue never fully did. Even their DNA carried the record, the protective tips on their chromosomes wearing down early, meaning neglect had aged them at a cellular level. By 4.5, more than half of the institutionalized children had a diagnosable psychiatric disorder. And here is the coldest part. None of this required cruelty. These children were fed, cleaned, and medicated. Damage doesn't need abuse, it only needs absence. This research changed the world. In 2004, Romania banned placing children under 2 in institutions.
In 2019, every country in the United Nations agreed to move children out of institutions and into families. But the 68 children left behind in that coin flip never got their window back.
Think about your own first 2 years. That is when the brain you are using right now was built. You cried thousands of times too. If silence feels safe to you today, or if it feels like a warning, the answer was never really about your personality. It was written before you could even speak.
If this story affected you, subscribe to History Forgotten, because every week we uncover a piece of our past we never knew was still shaping us. I'm Zach, and I'll see you in the next one.